in there, Hi, classroom testimony number 1. Today is about a man that walked into our class. He was about 5 foot tall. He'd only gone to 2 classes. This is the first one. He comes in, he's about 5 foot tall, but he walked like he was 7 foot tall, bulletproof. I mean, he was just walking, and he walks into class, he sits down. We had a class full that day. There was probably about 25 to 30 men in there that day. And he's sitting there, and we'd been talking about dreams and interpretation of dreams. And all of a sudden he chimes in and says, "Man, I miss my stones." And I said, "Stones? What are you talking about? What stones?" And he says, "Well, since I've been here, I have nightmares every night. And when I have my stones," he's talking about some rocks, and when he had them, that he didn't have nightmares. And I said, "Well, hun, when Yeshua died on the cross, he gave us everything we'll ever need. You don't need those rocks. All you need is Yeshua." And he said, he kind of got a little defensive. And I said, "Let me tell you something. What we're dealing with," I said, "here's the thing. Demons have ranks. Okay, they have ranks, just like in a military. There's different rankings. Some are stronger than others." And I told him, I said, "The thing is the demon that's attached to these stones is stronger than the demon that's been attacking your dreams. And so when you have the stones with you, those other demons can't mess with you like they were, because the stronger demon would rather you hold on to him." And when I said this, something in him rose up, and he put his hand up in my, towards my face, and said, "I don't want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what he has to say." And he pointed to my husband. Well, Mark kind of leans forward, and he's like, he wasn't really getting anything. Holy Spirit wasn't giving him anything to speak, but he's kind of fumbling through it. And as he's doing that, I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Lord," I'm talking to Holy Spirit in my head. I'm like, "What am I dealing with here?" And he told me. And I put my hand over to Mark. I said, "Honey, just a second." And I looked at the man and I said, "I know what you need to be delivered of. I know what we're dealing with. I know what you need to be delivered of." And he looked at me and I said, "You need to be delivered of a familiar spirit." As soon as I said that, people, his shoulder blade. Now, this is a shorter, stocky man. This should not have happened. It's not humanly possible for this to happen, okay? But his shoulder blade came popping up. I don't even think I could do it. Came popping up out of the back of his shirt like a shark fin, okay? And he starts screaming. And now there are tables that they're sitting in front of that are about 1.5 feet, 2 foot wide. And he grabs one side of the table and he's pushing the other side of the table. And he's pulling, trying to get that shoulder blade to go back in. And he's yelling, "Ow, ow, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Make it stop, make it stop." And y'all, this is the first deliverance that I used the name Yeshua only. Before this, I'd always used the name Jesus. This is the first time I ever used the name Yeshua. And I just started saying, "I bind and rebuke a spirit, the familiar spirit in the name of Yeshua. You have to leave this man right now." And I'm commanding it to leave. And my husband, Mark's sitting here, and he's just saying, commanding it to leave quietly. By the way, we're not yelling. We're not screaming at it. We're just talking. And I don't have to, scream. I didn't have to scream. And then there's a man standing over to the other side of Mark speaking in tongues. Then there's another young man on this side of me. We called him Yaakov. He was sitting there just saying, "Yeshua, Yeshua, Yeshua." And about that time, I heard Holy Spirit say, "Tell him to call on me, call on my name." And so I said, "Call on the Lord, call Yeshua." And this thing let him cuss. It let him say have all these foul Um, sorry, I'm sitting in the car waiting and the lights just went out. It let him say all these foul words. It let him scream out, "Oh, God, God, it hurts, make it stop, make it stop." And it even said, "Please." By the way, demons can say please. Demons can say please. When they are begging you to leave them alone, they will say please. Okay. So this thing is saying, "Please, please make it stop." And then when I say call on the Lord Yeshua, it just goes, he couldn't open his mouth. It was sealed. And I'm like, and I'm asking God in my head, well, what do I do now? And I heard him say, loose him to speak, loose him to call my name. And so I said, "Thou art loosed in the name of Yeshua to speak and call on your Lord." And next thing I know, he says, "Yeshua." As soon as he said it, guys, it was over. Like, it was over. He had tears flowing and he was able to release the table, and he comes leaning back. Now, by the way, okay. Yeah. These chairs that they sit in, they're blue plastic chairs. And he was up at the edge of the chair, leaning over the table and pushing and pulling and trying to get that shoulder blade to pop back in. And when it was over, he went to lean back. And when he did this, he goes, "Oh," and he said, "I just myself. Why did I just myself?" And he said the SH word, and I just said, "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay." They have to leave an orifice. Guys, by the way, he got up. We had to get a trash bag for him to go into. And he went up to the showers. God worked on him the rest of that night. And he came back to the next class. He came to 2 classes. The one he went through deliverance. That night, I told him God was not done. I gave him this sheet to read through. Next thing I know, he was throwing up and doing stuff in his room. And then he came to the next class, and this man was a totally different man. The man that came into that second class was not the same man that walked into the first one. God had been moving in him, and it was just a beautiful transformation. Anyway, let me see. What was I going to tell you? Oh, demonic spirits, when they enter a person, they have to enter through an open door. They enter through trauma, fear, sin. I mean, there are different doorways that they can enter in a person. But just like they have to enter a doorway, they have to leave a doorway. So they can either leave the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth. They may sweat them out. Sometimes they will just lift off. So that's just a little piece of information that I'm praying that you might need in the future if you have not been through deliverance. I am praying that people watch these videos of testimonies that I've seen and witnessed or that have happened to me, and that it sets others free, because he says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And giving testimony doesn't mean I have to give my own. I can give testimony to others. I can give someone else's testimony. I can give my testimony. I mean, as long as people give us permission. But I don't think it will hurt anything if I don't give names out. So anyway, I don't even know that man's name. I only met him twice, and I don't remember his name. I do know he was a truck driver. That's all I know. But anyway, I hope this little testimony blesses you, and it sounds like someone's calling. So, take care. Love you. Bye.